Hello and welcome to the High Note Podcast. I am your host, Sean Smith. Hey, thanks for joining me, everybody. It's finally spring. We're starting to get those spring concerts coming around, right? The spring tours. We're starting to see outside venues starting to pop up on my calendar. It's a beautiful thing. And Atlantic City is just starting to get warm and sunny and absolutely beautiful. And I'm absolutely stoked that I got a chance to talk to my guest that you're going to hear this interview with, Tina Notoro. There's a good chance that if you've gone to an event in the last, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years in Atlantic City and had a good time, there's a good chance that Tina Notoro had something to do with it. She is probably best known for Noetrope, which is a network of people and events that she's created. Most recently, she just did this awesome fundraiser for Sister Jean's Kitchen in Atlantic City with the Cardinal Restaurant. You probably saw her wearing something like a cow costume at the Atlantic City St. Patrick's Day Parade with Red Meat Conspiracy. She does events all over Atlantic City, a lot at Anchor Rock Club, which is one of my favorite venues in the city. Beach Rave being one of them, Night Market. She has a bunch more that she's going to be talking about. You'll hear in the interview. And she also works with the Atlantic City Arts Foundation, which is absolutely great because who doesn't love art? And the Arts Foundation does a lot of great work and has a lot of good events in Atlantic City and is responsible for, I think, all of the amazing murals that you see throughout the city. So if you've made it this far, you haven't subscribed already, please do me a favor, subscribe to the High Note Podcast. This is probably where I'm going to be focusing most of my attention. If you've checked out the High Note blog, the reviews have kind of slacked off a little bit. I'm still posting New Music Friday every Friday. I'm working on another project, which has taken some of my time away from the reviews, the written reviews that are on the podcast, or on the blog rather. But yeah, check out the podcast. There's an email list that you can subscribe to, and I made my concerts page live. So if you go to highnoteblog.com, there's a concerts page that has all of the upcoming events in Atlantic City. It's a work in progress. I'm going to start adding in more and more. So like the idea would be to get Atlantic City down, then move to Philly, New York, Washington, D.C., and then from there, I don't know. But that's pretty much my main demographic for the High Note, right? It pretty much goes up to New York, over to Philly, and then down to like Washington, D.C. area. So please check out highnoteblog.com. You can see all the blogs, New Music Friday, check out the concerts, sign up for the email list. So follow me on social media at High Note Blog. Keep it easy. It's the same on all the platforms. And I'll drop links in the show notes here where you can follow Tina and Noetrope, see all the wonderful things that she is doing with Noetrope. So without further ado, my podcast with Tina Notoro. Tina Notoro, welcome to the High Note Podcast. How are you doing today?
So good, Sean. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I feel like this is a long time coming.
Yes. Oh, yeah. This feels great being in your office here in sunny Atlantic City.
Yeah, you're usually not out in the sun because you are the night mayor, right?
Yeah, that's true. It has been a while since we've been out at night, specifically on the beach, where I earned my title. But for your listeners at home, it is not a sunny day here in Atlantic City, but we're very much looking forward to the warmer weather.
It's so funny because our paths, I feel like, crossed so many times at Beach Rave or Beach Rave. Yes. I think I crossed 2 events in my head. So at Beach Rave, I would show up on like Monday morning and my friend would be like, yeah, we had a whole party here Sunday, like all night Sunday or Saturday into Sunday. And I'm like, where? Like, I didn't see anything. And like literally Seaside Avenue, right? Was that it?
Yeah. Crystal Beach. That was like kind of one of there's so many cool things about the Beach Rave, and thinking back to like in the mornings after the party, all the surfers coming down to the beach and like kind of giving us like a side eye as we've got the music still going. I've got the grill out and we're cooking bacon. The sun's coming up. Dolphins are in the water. It was like kind of a miraculous sight. But yeah, that was good times.
I never saw you on a Sunday because I don't surf on the weekends. It's kind of like, especially in the summertime.
Why is that?
Oh, just because of the crowds. I'm a snob.
Oh, yeah.
So how did the whole Beach Rave start down there?
So, like a lot of things, it was just like an idea of like, what if we did this? And I got to give credit to our Beach Rave Patriot, DJ Skyline, because we would be hanging out at Rhythm and Spirits on Tennessee Avenue. And I would just hang out for his, his gigs. And we would just like talk about all types of things. But at one point we just talked about having a party on the beach. And I had maybe not really ever even been to a rave, but we called it Beach Rave because that's what felt right. Like a renegade party, no permits on the beach all night long. And so that first one was in 2021, and it was on the full moon, and we dragged all of our equipment out to the beach, generators, speakers. We didn't even have a subwoofer with us for those first ones, but it was so like just scrappy, and it was so cool to be on the beach at night with music and people just having a good time, like really relaxed, like your feet like in the sand, the moon above everybody, that it just kind of stuck as something we would go out there to do on the full moon. And, we had kind of a small team that stayed small for the whole thing, but the crowd grew every time, like without us even really trying to promote it, to the point where there would be like 300 or 400 people out there on the beach by the end of our run, like 2 years ago. And I won't say the end of our run, but we had to take a hiatus because it got so big.
Yeah.
Like the police would come out there, and the first few times that they would visit, they would ask us to turn it down. And we're like,
Right.
This is crazy. Okay, we can turn it down. Yeah, we'll turn it down. That's cool. We're cool. You're cool. All right. And then it got to the point where they would come down to the beach and they would tell us that it looked like a festival. And they're like, you need a permit for this. Like, this looks like a festival. And if we weren't working, we'd be here, like, hanging out. And I'm like, that's so cool. And then they're like, but you got to shut it down. And I was like, ah. So, yeah, we kind of had to cool things off for a little bit, just because the nature of the event and whether we could get a permit for something that's all night on the beach, is to be determined, and the cost of, insurance and potentially police detail and all these other things that go into getting a special events permit in the city of Atlantic City, could be prohibitive to the experience we were having out there. So we do plan to get back out there. Yeah.
And was this your first event in Atlantic City? Like, what is the origin story of Tina and Noetrope in Atlantic City?
Oh, you know what? My first event actually was technically, I believe it was a birthday party fundraiser. I had a birthday party fundraiser at Beret.
Oh yeah.
And it was a fundraiser for the Arts Foundation where I work now. So I put together a show that included stand-up comedy, music, raffles, and maybe one other thing, but it was semi-private event because it was open to the public, but the donation, the door fee went to the Arts Foundation. And that was probably in 2019. That was pre-pandemic. So
Okay.
that must have been like 2019. But it's funny because I barely think about that now, but because it was in Beret, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Right. So then technically, I guess that was my first event. And then the second event would have been the Beach Rave 1.
And was that like, when did Noetrope start? And is that an event production company? How would you describe Noetrope?
Noetrope is a movement of sorts. It is not a formalized business. And I created that word after the first couple beach raves because of the feeling that I was having on the beach with everybody. It is a combination of two words, noetic and trope. And I learned the word noetic in the Michael Pollan book, How to Change Your Mind, about psychedelics.
I've read that book, but I don't remember that word.
So he talks about this this certain type of experience that has a noetic quality. And those experiences are often religious, spiritual, or mystical experiences that leave you kind of speechless but feeling whole, like you're connected to something more than yourself, that it has a certain authority to it, a sense of truth, but it's kind of unexplainable.
Yeah.
And it's really a moment where you feel like this is real and it's now. So that was something that was like really described what it felt like to be at Beach Rave. So the idea of Noetrope being this theme or motif of that feeling happening on a recurring basis. So that happens at Beach Rave. And then in 2022, we went from the beach to Anchor Rock Club. And we had our first show at Anchor Rock Club just 4 years ago on March 19th, 2022. And that was the Times Like These indoor beach rave, which was a fundraiser again for the Arts Foundation.
Oh, cool.
So that's probably how I got a job there. I kept fundraising for them. But yeah, that was our first show indoors, and it featured artists and a raffle and DJs, visuals. And that was kind of what led us then to what became the New Moon Night Market and Dance Party.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that would happen on the new moons. And for about a year there, or a year or two, like it's almost like mind-boggling, because Night Market happened every month and had a theme that was like pretty detailed, and like we'd have a whole set and decorations that related to the theme. And so there would be summers, or a summer, where on the new moon we'd be at Anchor Rock Club with this very elaborate set, and then 2 weeks later we'd be all night long on the beach for the full moon beach rave, and then 2 weeks later we'd go back to Anchor Rock Club for this very elaborate set theme night market. And it was like, how did we even accomplish all of that? It seems insane. I was not working full time, so that is a lot of how I was personally doing it, but it felt like we were training for something like very fun and bizarre.
That's awesome. And how did you start doing this? Like, what is your background? Like, did you go to school for this? Was this something that did you volunteer at festivals? Like, how does one just say like, hey, you know what? I want to have a birthday fundraiser at Bourrée, which is like not a small venue. It's now the Cardinal. And like, how do I throw a rave on the beach? Like, how does that happen?
I think like when I try and connect the dots, like part of it is I always grew up, I guess like my family would like loved putting on stuff for holidays. Like we'd always get together for holidays. I had an aunt who was like a great hostess, and I learned a lot, about just throwing parties from growing up in my family, I guess, because I remember having birthday parties in high school or middle school and making an invitation and a guest list and like a menu or like games. And that was always such a big part of my life, was celebrating throughout the year. And I remember in high school, I was in the media club and put together like Egg Harbor Township's first film festival that we ever had. Oh, cool. And that was like, I guess like the more and more I think about this as years go by, I'm like, all right, these were all leading some way in some way to other things, because then I ultimately like found myself working with my media teacher at the Garden State Film Festival. So that's like, even though it was film, it was festival. And then always convening people in certain ways. I ended up going to Stockton for environmental science, which doesn't seem related, but we put together the juggling and circus arts club there. So there's like a nexus of like bringing people together to have fun. And then also there's this thread of, when I was a kid, I would go with my aunt and help her set up vending events for her soap company. So like I would go to craft fairs like Batstow or Cranberry or the Bayfest, and we would lug all her soap around and sell that in vendor craft fairs. So that's maybe the night market connection. And then there's like this party festival connection that somewhere in the soup of who I am is there's something there. But yeah, I ask myself that sometimes, of like, how did I get here? How
does it feel to be the host of a giant like event? Like, how like I guess you get Irish goodbye'd a lot, right?
Oh, no. I mean, it is thrilling and exciting, but I don't even want to use the word overwhelming sometimes. But because you're the host, like, people want to talk to you a lot. So that is, I find myself trying to manage an event, but at the same time be a host, which is like talking to people, which is like all my friends are there. So it's, you want to say hi to everybody. And sometimes I got to like, I'm the one who Irish goodbye because I got to dip over and like go do something over here. I got to go fix this thing or tell this person that. Or so I'm like, but it's kind of like who I am too, is like moving from one place to another very quickly. So yeah, that's why I don't want to use overwhelming, because it doesn't overwhelm me. I think that's why I like it, is because it's like a high energy role.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Anchor Rock Club is a great home for you. Like, how did you hook up with? Did you ever go to the old House of Blues?
Yes, I was at the House of Blues for like a CKY show one year.
Oh, nice.
Like New Year's or something.
Yeah.
I did go there for a few shows when I was younger. I'm 33 now, so I'm not sure when it closed, but I know my first concert was actually here in Atlantic City. It was in 2012 to see Green Day and My Chemical Romance at the Taj Mahal.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so I know I was there, and I know I was at House of Blues a couple times.
Because Anchor Rock Club is my new favorite venue since the House of Blues closed. The Music Box at Borgata is really nice too, but it doesn't have the same, like, it's just intimate. It's small. And they used to get like, cheap seats, like, which was good. But Anchor Rock Club, I feel like, is the like closest to the old House of Blues with its vibe, and like, just I love it. I like going to events there. Like, when I see something is happening there, I'm like, oh, I want to go to that, because like I know I'm gonna have a good time. I love the layout, and I like bringing people there too, because they like, especially like when they go upstairs and they're just like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I'm too young for Deja Vu, or maybe that just like wasn't my scene, but like I could only imagine when it was Deja Vu, and then I'm pretty sure it was a nightclub before that too. So like I can only imagine like the history in those walls. But how did you get hooked up with Anchor Rock Club?
The good times are baked into the walls in that place. And like, I remember the first time I walked in there was like a winter. It must have been a winter time, 2021, because our first show was in March. So it would have been the winter before that. And I was with my friend, and we were just walking down the street. We must have just went up to the boardwalk, or we're coming back from the boardwalk, and the side door was open, and we heard music, because there was no sign. There wasn't a sign outside for probably a couple years that said anything. Like, you didn't know what this place was, but there was a show in there, and the heat wasn't working, and it was like so cold inside. We went in, and I was like, what is this place? I was like, I can't believe we just walked in here. And he was like, my friend was like, you're going to have a show here. You don't know what it is yet, but you're going to have, like, I don't know what it was that gave him that, like, premonition, but I probably met, like, Greg and Adam that night, or maybe I didn't meet anybody that night, because I was just like, all right, cool, this cool venue here. And then I started going, and it probably wasn't long after that we were having Beach Rave, and that led us to be like, all right, we want an inside show. And that was the obvious choice, because it's Atlantic City's independent music venue. I mean, that's like, there's no other spot like that in town. It's 650 person capacity, so it does have a very intimate feel. It's a very big space for local shows.
Yes.
Unless you're gutter drunk, you can pack that place out. But yeah, it's like historic club. There's been, like you said, Deja Vu. I love asking older people if they've ever been to Anchor Rock Club, because they'll kind of sometimes they'll say no, and I say, you ever been to Deja Vu or the Chez Paris?
Yeah.
And they just like, their heads, fly back, their eyes light up, and they're like, oh, I had such good times there. We'd be there till sunrise. Oh, I'd be there till the sun came up. We'd be walking out the door and go lay on the beach after. Like, you can just see in their face, just like, that was such a place for people to be together and have a good time. I've heard recently, there was different kind of dealings going on there that made it easier to have a good time, right over the bar in some cases.
Amazing.
But I was like, wow. So the fact that they're in that space that has been home probably for over 40 years to people connecting with themselves and each other through music and through nightlife, that is really, really cool that it is still a place for that now.
Yeah, I think the gentleman who owned this building owned the Chez back in the day, because they owned all those clubs that were up and down, like the Brass Rail,
gosh,
and all that stuff.
I see a lot of this stuff on the different Facebook group pages.
Yeah.
And the amount of people who will comment and say that they would drive down from Philadelphia, New York, drive 2 hours from Baltimore at 2 a.m. when the bars closed there to come to New York Avenue to party the rest of the night. I'm like, that is hard to imagine now.
Yeah.
That it was such a draw, or that people would travel that far at that time of night.
Right.
Like New York Avenue is something we can probably barely imagine what it was like back then.
It's crazy because like we were just talking on the elevator up that like 10 years ago, it was nothing. Like we used to hang out at Butch Bradley had a comedy club over there.
Oh, yeah.
And like I used to hang out there and like I thought that was the coolest place in the world, right? Super tiny venue, upstairs, super intimate. And like, yeah, but that was it. Like there wasn't like much going on.
Oh, he was, I guess, Butch must have been 5 to 10 years ahead of his time.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the Hideaway?
Yeah.
Oh, imagine if that was there now.
Yeah, it was amazing. And it was like a very interesting crowd because there was a strip club there next door, and there was like a parking lot in between, and you could smoke on the lounge outside. So like you could go outside and smoke, and the girls would come over when they were like off shift and like hang out and like get a drink or like just hang out and smoke in like the little alleyway in between, like the little parking lot in between. Wow. It's a very interesting scene for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, that's crazy to think that if he had just done that, maybe, now he's in Vegas doing a residency, but yeah, they've really transformed. When I say they, it's like, them, Evan and Z and like some Pat Fasano, like have really like thrown a lot of money on a bet that's going to pay off their investments, and that's really turned those blocks around. The Orange Loop, but it's also, there's, a lot, to be fair, a lot of the businesses, they still get together and like, how can we find, or how can more people find that we're here? Yeah. Like, how can more people know about the Orange Loop? Because we're in a little bubble, Sean. I don't know if you know this, but totally. Like people outside of Atlantic, some people even in Atlantic City, but definitely outside of Atlantic City, they don't know what the Orange Loop is at all. Right. They don't know there's anything going on down here at all. Yeah. They don't know Anchor Rock Club exists. They don't know the beer hall is there. Yeah. They don't know Cardinal is there. It's like, of course we're in the bubble of like, this is everything like we do. Yeah. But to be fair, like those businesses are still kind of like trying to figure out how they can get people there. Yeah. Yeah, which is, it's amazing because like it really has turned around. It's people like you who like literally, I feel like door to door, street, like on the street, like, promoting Atlantic City and how good it is. You showed me you're officially licensed clown by the city of Atlantic City. Yeah. So like, how did that happen? I had to do that. When I first, I had to. When I first got back here, because I was working for the state of New Jersey, actually, right after I graduated from Stockton. And like, it was a great job, but I was so, I don't want to say lonely. I was like far from everyone I wanted to see. And so COVID was a blessing for me because I was like, I'm going to go work from home in Atlantic City. Because I could, I was like, they're like, oh, we're going to go work from home. I was like, I'm moving to AC. I'm moving back. And we were working from home maybe for a year or so. And then they started bringing us back to the office. And in that time of like working from home and being down here, and then like kind of in the immediate aftermath of after I left that job, I would perform on the boardwalk or like get gigs doing my juggling and bubble routines in the costume, which is like hard to deny, people's gaze. I'm in a sparkly little costume making giant bubbles or playing with hula hoops. And so I would do that on the boardwalk. And a couple times people, I don't know if it was police or ambassadors out there, but they were like, you can't do that here. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't do that? What do you mean I can't do this here? And they're like, you need to get a permit. It's like, a permit for bubbles? Like, so I was like, let me find out what this process is like, because I'm interested. Also, we should have street performers here, and I'm interested in what they need to make that happen. And so I went through the process of like, you got to get insurance as a performer, and then you got to get this permit. And when I was signing up for the permit, the ID card that you get, you have a few choices of what kind of performer artist you can list yourself as, and clown was an option, and it felt like a very appropriate choice because one, I was voted class clown actually in high school, so I was like, this is just fulfilling my destiny. And also, how could I not have a government issued ID that lists me as a clown in the city of Atlantic City? So I was like, this is too cool. So I went for that. And so I have my officially licensed clown permit. It's definitely, that's a fun party trick to pull that out. Like, I am a licensed clown in Atlantic City. Let me see your badge. Yeah. But I haven't used it lately, but it is definitely a good thing, credential. Yeah. That's amazing. So how does it feel? Like you said, you're voted class clown. Like,
you do have like a very outgoing personality. Like, how does it feel to be behind the scenes at a lot of these events? Like, yeah, you get on the mic and like do a little MC stuff, but really it's a lot of like vendor spaces and applications and like, you know, and I imagine with your job at the Arts Foundation now too, right? It's a lot of like paperwork and organization. How does that feel to be on that side of things?
Yeah. You know what it really comes down to is I love giving people what they need to do their best, whether it's a performance, especially a live music performance. Like, there is nothing I enjoy more than my friends like killing it on stage, and me being the person that's like, you know, they're reaching for a water bottle that's not there, and in the next 5 seconds I'm there with a water bottle. You know, it's like I'm giving them everything they need so that they can just forget the things that weigh them down and transcend into that thing that they want to become as an artist. And seeing that happen is so fulfilling and gratifying to me that I don't need, you know, to be the center of attention. I get kind of nervous as the center of attention sometimes, even though, you know, I did that in some ways in different places and spaces in my life, but really like making the things happen is where I found my strengths can really lend to things like really beautiful things happening. So yeah, I don't mind it at all not being in the center of attention or the spotlight. I love being behind the scenes. Yeah.
That's awesome because you have a lot going on. Like, so walk me through it. You have the night market is ongoing once a month.
Well, we have reformatted because, you know, change is necessary, you know. That happened for a number of reasons. We wanted to switch our formats up. Actually, last year we did Club Beach Rave once a month, and that was our indoor, like, you know, monthly dance-focused event that did not involve vendors. And because in a way, like when we started doing night market, there was like not much else going on. Now there's a lot of things happening. There's other night markets. There's my friend Mary Beth hosts the Ghost Mart at Anchor Rock Club, a goth alternative night market 3 times a year. There was just the punk rock flea market. Mm-hmm. Like, there was not a lot of venues or opportunities for like local artist, crafter, vendor types to showcase their stuff. So now that that's there, we found that like a monthly night market was a lot to do, not only on our end, a lot for vendors to keep up with, a lot even for attendees to show up for. So last year we took a break from night market and did Club Beach Rave once a month. So that was also our Club Beach Rave experiment of, okay, this is straight dance party. Where New Moon Night Market and Dance Party was like throwing everything together, we kind of separated the two, focused just on Dance Party, found what worked and what didn't work with that. And now for 2026, we're reintroducing Night Market on 3 select dates this year. So kind of filling in the calendar where Ghost Mart, you know, is 3 other certain months. We're going to be May, August, and November. And feature a live band and DJs, which was something we always did really well, was the combination of DJs, vendors, and a band. And then we'll also have 2 more dance-focused events, and that'll be something we're calling Dance Alarm in July, and then Beach Rave's Haunted Mansion, which is always awesome Halloween dance party thing that we've done the past couple years. So the cadence is a little bit different this year. It's not quite every month because that's a lot. You know, it's just a lot. It's a lot. And now that there's more things to do, it doesn't feel as necessary to have that schedule. But that frees us up to do other things, like maybe some pop-ups and get back out on the beach. And yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, you do a lot. Like there was the Make the Rent Mondays. What was
Yeah, that was a meetup, and that was through my connectorship with the South Jersey Cultural Alliance. I joined on for a 1-year field appointment with them to be their Atlantic County connector, which was basically like an artist liaison between their nonprofit organization and the Atlantic City community and the resources they have. And so I created that meetup as kind of like a low-key gathering just for artists to get together, see what resources were available, what challenges people were having. And that was once a month. And so that type of thing has the right, you know, it's like a little bit less of a lift. It can be a little more intimate with folks. And I'm not sure we'll be returning that, but I know there's some other folks working on a similar artist meetup that you'll probably talk to your next guest might tell you about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, and it's just cool that you have I feel like you're giving a venue for people to, and not like a physical venue, but like an actual promoted like event for people to perform at. And I think it's just really cool. I used to do the singer-songwriter thing, and like now I'm kind of on the other side of it since my career in journalism, and it's just I have a different appreciation for it. I think I see a lot of what goes into it, these big events. And it's amazing to see that Atlantic City has this kind of stuff. Like I went to that one, I always talk about it. You're going to laugh because you know exactly what I'm going to say. It's the psychedelic living room event that I went to. That was one of the best, coolest things that I've ever been to in my entire life. Not kidding. Like I will always talk about that thing forever. And like, were you involved in setting that up or anything with that?
So that was, I want to make sure I have this right. That was the Friends Like These, like Thanksgiving version of our. That was such a unique month in our schedule because it was Friends Like These, and it was a Thanksgiving hang at Anchor Rock Club. Yeah. And there was no vendors there. But Matt Laredo, who sets up the psychedelic living room, I did help him get his stuff there. I met him at his storage unit, and we loaded his furniture into the box truck that he had. And we helped him set that up because he does really cool installations at festivals, like Submersion.
Okay.
And he'd been at Beard Fest, where he sets up this just really chill zone of like artwork and visuals and couches and rugs and walls and clocks, and like it's a whole setup. I mean, that was just a taste of what he does, but imagine that like in a field or in a forest or something, and you come upon this psychedelic living room. So he's been killing it with that, and he still does that, and it was so cool to have him there that day. But it was such a unique version of a night market, or it wasn't even a night market, but it was a unique version of like a Noetrope monthly for that month.
It was amazing because like, there was like a potluck thing happening.
Yeah.
And then there was like, the thing that I loved was the DJ and the David Attenborough documentary, where you could switch, you had the headphones, and so you could listen to the documentary or you could listen to the DJ.
Yeah, I really loved that. I've been wanting to bring it back, but like, because I love the silent disco headphones, and I love the idea of things that are not music being broadcast, like a movie or even like an audiobook, or, like different, because you can have 3 channels. So I've thought about that, more of like, bringing that back for certain formats. And but it's so funny that stands out to you, because it was so different than a lot of the other things too.
It was amazing. I just like the fact that I could watch this documentary and like just see people dance in front of me, but like I'm into the documentary,
and you're probably sitting on the couch,
then,
right?
I'm sitting on a couch that is like way too big, or I was in that giant love seat with like me and Lee.
Oh my God.
Spooning in this giant love seat that could have easily fit like you and another person. Like it was amazing.
And you can smoke inside Anchor Rock Club too, so that's like another added comfort level of like, that's as close as you could get to being at home, enjoying your time on a couch watching Netflix, but still be at the club.
It was amazing. Yeah, it's so cool.
I think that is so, like, I feel like there's something. After COVID, people were like really, really ready to get outside, and there was like this pop of people going out. And what it feels like we're going through right now is like the contraction of people not wanting to be outside as much for what, like, I'm still trying to figure out why, but I think one is like money is tighter now, what people are willing to do or risk or put themselves out there for, or, it's hard to really like navigate how the landscape for events and community events and just businesses in general is changing, but also like people are not drinking as much anymore. So that changes like a whole environment for people. So it's interesting that you brought that up, because for me, that is kind of part of it, is like, how do you make people comfortable to go out without needing to spend a lot of money, because they need to have connection. Yeah. And that's like, without connection, that is how we end up in very bad places. So yeah, I'm very interested in like what brings people out to something.
The money thing is like a whole other conversation, because I just had this, me and my wife talk about this all the time, where it's like Brit Floyd played this past weekend at Hard Rock, and I heard they're amazing. Great light show, everything. but I think tickets were $60. And we saw The Roots at House of Blues and I think Music Box both for $30.
Wow.
Right? Like, it's like, you know, like I think I saw Thursday, and like, yeah, I'm an old man, right? But it's like I saw Thursday Thrice and like I can't remember another band at House of Blues for $30, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like that kind of thing where it's like, or like I saw Goose for $50, right? Like, and it's like that's a top band. Even I saw Haim the last summer, and like that was a $50 ticket, but like I wanted to see that band, and they're an awesome band. And like, sure, Brit Floyd is great, but like you're a cover band. And like in my head, I'm kind of like, well, if I'm going to spend $50 on an event, it needs to be something that I like really want to see. If the price was lower, then I would be like, yeah, let's go to dinner. Let's get tickets. Let's like make it a thing. Right. Where, yeah, I don't know. It's just like a weird thing with like ticket prices now, where I think that benefits you and like events that you have, or like people like you in Atlantic City, where it's like, hey, like there was that festival on the beach with Marie Davidson.
Yeah, Making Waves.
Yeah. Were you involved with that?
Yeah, I'm working with them again this year. I got the permit for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I worked with them and Anchor Yacht Club specifically to get the permit to be on the beach, and that was like a low key like a huge accomplishment because that is part of like me learning how to get a permit. I'd gotten multiple event permits before that for things in the park, but it was like seeing what it takes to do a legitimate event on the beach and what it costs and what you have to, you know, prove and provide.
Yeah, you have to pay for the lifeguards and stuff, right?
Yeah, we did have to request an additional lifeguard. You have to have police detail. You have to have security. There's a lot of things that go into it. It's not like insurmountable, but I am working with them again because they're going to bring Making Waves back this year. Yeah, very cool. And that was not expensive either. Like that was like $30.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, and that was a really cool event because that was indoors and outdoors. Yeah. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. I didn't go. And I was a little not annoyed. I don't want to say that. I was disappointed that Marie Davidson was not doing press for that. Because I really wanted to have her on the podcast because like that album cover. So like I do New Music Friday. That's like one of the things that I do for the High Note. So every Friday I do a list of new albums. And like one of them is I look at one of the websites that I look at the album covers and I stop and I'm like, I look at that view every time I go surfing in Atlantic City. I've taken photos of that exact shot of her album cover. Like I have probably 20 or 30 photos of that shot. Right. And I'm like, I just want to know everything about that. Like how does a French Canadian electronic music artist come to Atlantic City, make an entire album, call it City of Clowns.
I know, right?
Which is perfect. Yeah. And like because she did another photo in front of the Ocean 101 Ocean, that building that's right there at Crystals. She did another photo and I think like shot a music video there too. Like absolutely amazing that Atlantic City is like, that just blew my mind when I saw that. And then she came back for the concert. Like that's the kind of thing that like maybe I'm an audience of one, but that made me very excited.
I don't remember if I got the backstory of that, but she did a whole promo set of photos here. And like, I remember seeing that and being like, what? I think I saw that same thing. Didn't really know, wasn't on my radar until I saw the album cover. And then when she was coming for the show, I was like, oh wow, I'm into this because I liked her music because I'd seen the album cover, which was like, so striking. You're like, what are you doing in my city? But yeah, it was really cool, you know, to have acts like that on the beach and in town.
It's like Atlantic City, like we're young enough where it's like we hear about the glory days, right? Like, which is like, there's so many different eras of glory days, right? There's like the 500 Club and like all of that. And then there's like the early casino days, which like, if you talk to like older musicians, that was like a thing. Like if you were a musician, you were getting booked in a lounge in a casino. Like that was like, there was like a working musicians like union kind of thing, right? Wow. Where they were like working all over town all the time. And then like that kind of went away too. And then like there was this there wasn't much happening. And House of Blues went away, Boneyard went away, right?
Yeah,
like
the Boneyard is the good old days for me, right?
Man, like and then like everything now it's like kind of coming back. And like I feel like you're leading the charge with a lot of this, which is really cool, which is why I wanted to have you on the podcast. And it seems like you have your hands in just about everything, like with the Arts Foundation, with the Beach Rave, with the night market. And then, so you're part of the Chelsea EDA too?
Chelsea EDC, I've worked with them, and I am now, I mentioned like being able to get like special event permits, which is like anybody can do that, but for whatever reason I've like it's become a skill or based on the relationships. I'm not sure what it is, but the process is something I've under my belt of being able to work through this process to get a special event permit, which allows people to do these public events. So I've worked with Chelsea EDC in the past to do that. They've brought me back on to do that for their 2 signature events, the Empanada Fiesta and the tree lighting. And they also have some more smaller like block party things, but that involves a street closure. So that's another, like if you gamify the whole thing, it's like that's another level of the game that I just learned how to do. Because also for 48 Blocks Festival in September, we closed the street, 1 block of Melrose Ave between Uptown Park and Fisherman's Park, right where they built the new skate park.
Yeah.
So we closed that street and like put vendors in the street, and there's chalk art and stuff. And so like just learning how these functions and processes work has allowed me to work more with the CDCs or Chelsea EDC in this case, working with Anchor Rock Club and the promoter, you know, Dave P, that does Making Time to help them bring Making Waves to the beach. And really that's kind of like where I think I'm going with all this, like these skills and experiences that I'm like adding to my toolkit is like being able to put on events, especially like in my mind, free events. Like my big goal is like a huge free beach concert.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I feel like I'm not that far away from it, but there's got to be like, I don't know, people working on stuff, get stuff for us to get anywhere good. So
yeah, well, the beach concerts were a cool thing. Like Fish, I saw the Beach Boys do a free concert. I've seen the Beach Boys. I think the only band I've seen as much as Fish is the Beach Boys.
That's so funny. They did a free concert here?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
On the beach?
Yeah, I think it was 4th of July. I was out of college, so must have been like somewhere between 2007 and I want to say 2010, maybe 2011, 2012. Yeah, and like the craziest thing is that I met my cousin. I was with one of my cousins, and we met my other cousin and his family and found them. We found them on the beach, and it was the same place. It was at Caesars, right? So like that pier, like where they did Fish and everything. Yeah. And I don't know. I still to this day don't know how I found them. Where like I've gotten lost at Fish.
Yeah. There's some kind of internal tracking. Familial tracking.
Yeah. And probably like a level of substances, right? Like my cousin Mike always says there's lines. And once I cross that line, there's no going back. And like, yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. I'll have to look into that because I didn't know that they did like a free concert like that.
Yeah, I don't know if they did it more than once, but yeah, John Stamos, of course, played drums.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a free concert on the beach. It was awesome. Yeah, and I think that kind of paved the way for like what they ended up doing with Fish and whatever the name of that country music concert that they did.
Tidal Wave.
Was it Tidal Wave?
Barefoot or Tidal Wave?
Barefoot, I think, is in
Wildwood, right?
Yeah, that's Wildwood.
Then it might be Tidal Wave.
It might have been Tidal Wave. Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool. But again, it's like I'm in this whole, and this reminds me because I did want to mention when we bring Night Market back this year, it will be free before 8 p.m.
Oh, cool.
So it'll be like a $15 cover if you get there later because there is, we are going to have live bands. And I always like kind of struggled wanting to charge people to get into a vending event, like it should be as close to free as possible because you want people to shop with the vendors.
Yeah.
So in my mind, if that's like what people want to do, they can hopefully make it there before 8 and then it is free.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have enough money or you're trying to save money, you're on a budget, but you still want to see live music, come before 8 p.m. and it's free. Because it's like being able to access this stuff is way more important than like making someone's door fee, in my mind. And we also kind of operate on this like in a way, no one turned away for lack of funds. Like we have a very generous guest list a lot of the times. And to me, like the free beach concert could be like, things should just be free. That's why the 48 Blocks Festival is free. Like, I don't know, there just needs to be less of a barrier to gathering, to celebrate life, with each other.
Yeah, totally. I'm all about that because I'm a big fan of the Philadelphia Folk Festival. That's like I've been going there since 2008. And like they have a volunteer system. So like they make you pay to be a volunteer, but it's like you're paying to be a member of the Folk Song Society. But like they feed you, right?
Yeah.
Like you go to the concert for free, and I think you end up paying for camping or something like that. Like it's not much. Like it's a fraction of what you would pay if you were just like going for the 3 days or the 4 days. But like you get 3 meals a day, you get to hang out with all of the volunteers and stuff like that, and like it gives you access, which I think is a great model. And like people say that that's kind of like the last of like the Woodstock era, like the early 60s kind of like vibe. But you go to Beard Fest every year, which I've never been to.
You might not ever get a chance to go. They're taking a hiatus.
Bummer. And like that, I've wanted to connect with them for years and I just never have.
They made something so special that, I only got to be involved at the very end, to even know those, people that put that on. And I went for 3 or 4 years, and the last 2 of them I worked the festival. Like I rose from like volunteer to like paid staff pretty quickly because, you just put in a lot of effort and show people what you're capable and willing to do. That I got to see like such a well-run, beautifully orchestrated, well-intentioned, meaningful festival that they put together over the course of 13 years, moving from like a backyard into different venues and then to beautiful Paradise Lakes in Hamilton, like the most magical place. And it got so, they built this thing so big it became, and there was different reasons that they said that they needed to take a break, but it was one, like the venue kind of not having the infrastructure that they needed, but also, these people put it on personally, like the personal financial risk of the thing they were putting on and making back only in ticket sales and merch and vendor fees. That's like a big risk to take personally. So hopefully they bring it back in some way or some form, but like being able to work so closely with the people that make Beard Fest happen was hugely inspirational for me in presenting 48 Blocks as a festival for the first time last year. And this was because I just started working with the Arts Foundation as program manager. But before that, I had participated in 48 Blocks as an artist for a number of years. They've done this program for 10 years or more and always just called it 48 Blocks. And it was maybe a week long or 2 days long or a month long thing that happened at different venues around town, almost like South by Southwest or other citywide arts festivals that happen at different venues and at different times. But I'd participated and always in the debrief meetings where they collect everyone's feedback. It was that nobody had a huge turnout at their activation, or they didn't get to see everything because it was too far away at the same time, blah, blah, blah. And it was like the same feedback every time. And I was like, well, I'm here now. And I'm like, what is this thing, 48 Blocks? And like, what the 2 most important pieces of information for an event are where and when. And it was like, you couldn't pinpoint those details for this event because it was all over the place and at different times. And I was like, all right, we're doing this at one place on one day. And we're calling it a festival because people understand what a festival is.
Right.
You don't have to. 48 Blocks was like, well, what is it? What is it? And it's like, it's 48 Blocks Festival. And it's here on this day. And that like opened the door to be like, okay, we're going to put it in this awesome park, Uptown Park. Kind of underutilized. I mean, the sport courts are there and people use it. The skate park is there now, so it gets a lot more traffic. Fisherman's Park is a beautiful park in the cut with trees.
Yeah. Right
on the little basin right there. And I live right down the street, so it was like a little selfish of me to be like, all right, we're putting this right down the street from my house. I don't have to go very far. But because I would ride through there, I'm like, this is such a beaual venue.
It's amazing.
And then I'm like, well, what if we close the street in between?
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's a real festival, like a block party. Like, you have to close the street. I'm like, all right, let's close the street. We're using both parks. It was like kind of a really ambitious scale. And, we saw almost 1,000 people come out there last year, and it's free. It was all day long, which is also ambitious. We went 10 to 10, most people are not like I am, where I'm like, yeah, let's just go full tilt was the theme. I was like, we're also going full tilt. That's the theme this year. So like I've taken a lot of what I learned from working at Beard Fest. You know, I volunteered at Carnival of the Arts, another festival that my friends are involved with. Really seeing how these like cultural things take shape that gives people the platform to be the artist they want to be, whether it's, you know, they're making art, textiles, visual arts, or performing artists on a stage. Like giving them the platform to do that thing is what's really important. And, you know, I took so much from Beard Fest and the other festivals. And to me, that is how we got to 48 Blocks Festival, which we will present again this year, September 19th, at the same place, Uptown Park.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're taking advantage of it before it gets like developed into, yeah.
Yeah, there's some development is happening, which is like,
everywhere.
Yeah, it's like it's like almost good and bad, because it's like, we need more people here.
Yeah.
Period. Like, we just need more people. So it's like, and I know people who want to live here. Even when I was trying to move here, it's like, the housing stock is not great.
Yep.
There's not great options. The ones that are fucked up, like, and if it takes some new development going up, you know, it might not be exactly where people are going to move, but it's going to open the door for other more affordable things to open up, or for renovations to happen, or whatever. There needs to be more here so that the shit that's here can survive.
Yeah, totally.
Because it's like, it's such a, people are so surprised when I'm like, do you even know the population of Atlantic City? It's like a small town. It's like 38,000 people. And they're like, what?
Yep.
It's because the reputation is so enormous.
Yeah.
That to think that small population can like sustain and uphold like all these things that have to happen in order to be a functioning city is like unreasonable. So you need more people, so we have more people like me here, or more people like you, or more people like all the other folks doing stuff, you know, because it's like it's a lot of responsibility for a small amount of people.
Totally.
So it's like, yeah, development, good, bad, it's like, it's something.
Yeah,
at least
awesome.
it's something.
At least it's something. Yeah. So if somebody out there is listening and they want to kind of start their own event, or if they want to throw their own event, like, what would you recommend? I think like volunteering was one of the things that popped into my head, is that you've said multiple times like volunteering at different events, but yeah, do you have like a Noetrope playbook on like how to? I
totally should, Sean. You're reminding me that this is definitely something I should put together, because we did a workshop at Beard Fest last year called How to Throw a Party.
Yeah.
And because you know what's something about your strengths is like, you don't always think about them because they're your strengths, and it's because they come easily to you.
Yeah.
So like the things that I'm like, oh, well, duh, right. You do this, or duh, you do that. It's like people are literally looking for the playbook.
Right.
So, you know, in my mind, sometimes the first thing to do is make the invitation, make the flyer, or make your guest list.
Yeah.
It's like, who's coming to your party? Who's coming to your event? Who's helping you with your event? Because people do things. You know, it's like, ideas are great, but people make things happen. So if you want people there, who are those people? If you want people to help, or you need help, figure out who those people are. And then the thing really happens is when you make the flyer and put it out.
Totally.
Because then it's accountability. Because then there's information out there that you have to deliver on. And like, that's kind of the scariest part, because then it's real, and you either have to like make it happen, or you become like someone who doesn't actually put on their event, which is so bad. You don't ever want to be that person. But but if you want to learn how people do it, like, go to events. And like if they're bigger events, I think volunteering is great. That is really good, especially for bigger events. But even starting small, host something at your house, like a themed night with your friends, but make it like, go over the top with it. Like, make an invitation, make a guest list, like make a playlist, you know, have some entertainment, maybe a DJ, and then scale up from there. Yeah. Because that's like, it is kind of all similar. It's just a matter of like the infrastructure getting bigger. It's like, how many restrooms do you need at your event? You know, when we're outside at the park, that's like a question. It's like, okay, how many people can you have inside your house versus how many people can you fit inside Anchor Rock Club?
Yep.
How much does it cost to get all these different things? Like, the budget is always, we never want to think about the budget, but the budget is important, you know? And, there was a lot of different things that we talked about in that workshop, but it was mostly, having an intention and an idea of the experience you want to create for people, and then just working through the different lists of things that a party or an event needs, whether it's entertainment, food, infrastructure, power. Are you outside? Are you inside? Do you have electrical outlets? It's not that complicated, but I should put together the playbook because that would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I know for the Pizza DAO, for our global pizza party, we have a pizza party playbook.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, it's a lot of those things. It's like pick a venue, right? Like pick a DJ, like get music, or like what's your speaker situation like all that stuff. Yeah.
You got to tell us, is the pizza party happening this year?
Yeah, I'm not hosting it this year. It's May 22nd. I mean, it's happening at 5. We're going to 500 cities across the world. I'm taking a step back from hosting. Okay. But I think Danielle is going to, she told me she was going to host it.
No way, really?
Yeah, so it's going to happen. Been in contact with her. So yeah, May 22nd, there will be an Atlantic City pizza party.
What? Really?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
But there's always
you
one
heard
in
it
Philly.
here first.
Yeah, globalpizza.party is the website for the Global Pizza Party this year.
Fun.
May 22nd, 500 cities across the world. It's going to be a good time. Yeah, thank you for everything that you've done for the last 2.
I know, and I can't believe we didn't talk about it even until just now on the podcast. But yeah, that was always so much fun. Like,
it was a good time.
Yeah, and I feel like there's not like an obvious nexus, but I've always been interested in what cryptocurrency can provide, and just the financial picture in this world is so bleak sometimes that blockchain itself, like there's stuff there that I only superficially know about and am involved with, but I support.
Yeah,
because it's interesting.
It's just a way for and there's like a lot of music stuff too, but like it's a way for an artist to directly sell to a consumer and like cut out all of the middleman type of stuff, right? Where it's like, I'm a photographer when I'm not doing the high note stuff and marketing stuff. So it's like, I used to go to craft fairs and stuff, but like there's a lot of money and time involved with like printing everything out, buying all the frames and like all that stuff. And like artists, if they go to galleries and like all the commission stuff. And then like with music, right, there's like royalties and like all of that stuff. But like if you can put a product out there, kind of similar like music with Bandcamp, right, where you can just like put it out there and people can buy it and you get most of the money. I think that's the thing that drew me to NFTs and like crypto, digital art. So like, yeah, if you're an artist, you can just put an NFT out there and you get like 99% of the money and you get to control it. You can do whatever you want with it, which is really cool.
Wow. That is so interesting. Well, I hope we're back on the pizza party. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. So I ask every guest 3 questions. Was there any, before I ask those, was there anything that I didn't ask that you think that I should have asked, or anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, we hit a lot of stuff here. There's like, sometimes I do feel like I'm in a lot of different worlds and bubbles and working on a lot of different things, but it always feels like it's worth it, in the end. I'll shout out the dates for Night Market, just so people can mark them down. It'll be May 15th, August 21st, and November 28th at Anchor Rock Club.
Awesome. Any other events that you want to plug?
There's a few. I mean, I got a whole sheet here. We have 48 Blocks Festival, September 19th. And then we also have, that's with the Arts Foundation. Then we have 2 more Noetrope events on the calendar this year. And those are specifically dance events, dance party, no vendors or limited vendors. It'll be July 31st for Dance Alarm, and then October 30th for Beach Rave's Haunted Mansion. And I decided to call it July 31st Dance Alarm because this interesting scientific study, that I saw referenced, said that the most effective, thing against depression is dancing more than any prescription drug. I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
what? Yeah. All right. More effective than any prescription drug on the market is dancing. I'm like, that I can do that. I'm like, I can do that. You can do that. Anybody can do that. I'm like, I can provide that to people. So I'm like, Dance Alarm. It's like, Dance Alarm. You got to dance right now, because so many people are dealing with this, like, depression or adjacent type of thing right now, just because it's very topsy-turvy. Like, things are changing so fast in the world. And this idea that, like, okay, dance it out, experience this thing called Noetrope, be together with people, not online. Like, there's something to, like, that sacred space. So it is an alarm for dancing.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, actually, I had one of my surfing friends hit me up, and she was like, I need to go dance. When is the next event at
wow.
Anchor Rock Club?
Yeah.
And I was like, let me go on the Noetrope website. Let me check this out.
Wow. Yeah, it'll be coming
She
up.
also requested earlier for the moms, and I'm a boardwalk cyclist and sunrise photographer. She's a boardwalk runner when she's not surfing. So she's like, can we get like a 6 o'clock start on one of these? I'm like, I'm not in charge.
I'm taking that to note because I kind of want to do a daytime brunch hour thing. Sometimes there's so many ideas I have.
Yeah.
There's definitely like day rave type thing. Kid rave is on my list.
Oh, cool.
Kid rave would be cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So there's things like that in the cooker. It's just whether I'm here for the long haul. So it could, these things in time will come.
You're just getting started.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Awesome. So, Tina, thank you for your time. So, ask every guest these 3 questions. The first one is, what was the first album that you either went out and bought or got as a gift?
The album that comes to mind, and I don't think this is the first. Oh wait, actually no, it was a Backstreet Boys album because I got it in a Happy Meal or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I used to roller skate in my backyard patio to it. It was whatever was big in it must have been 1999.
Yeah.
So, and it had.
That's I Want It That Away.
I
right?
Want It That. Yeah. It had that song
I always
on it.
get them and NSYNC confused.
Yep.
And like my wife always yells at me.
So that was definitely the first CD album I had for sure because I was really young and we would listen to it all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
And you had already answered this, but I want you to go into a little bit more detail. What was the first concert that you ever went to?
Yes. Green Day and My Chemical Romance with my 2 best friends, Elida and Ashley. And we went in 2012 to the Taj Mahal. I was actually there to see My Chemical Romance because I loved Green Day, but I was a huge My Chemical Romance fan.
Yeah.
So that was so awesome to be able to go to that concert here. And then we'd go it's hard to imagine, but our parents would let us get on the train and go to Warped Tour.
Yeah.
When we were 13 or 14 by ourselves.
I was allowed to go, but I know that there was a lot of hemming and hawing over the whole thing. And then this was when Warped Tour was in the parking lot of the of whatever it was, right?
It must have been. It was right off the river line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you had to take the transfer, and I remember coming home, we had to wait an hour for a train. It was because they switched to the night schedule, and it was we got home very, very late, very late.
Wow. It's so I miss that. That was something else too. Yeah, exactly. I could go to Warped Tour as a kid. I would go to the freaking Boscov's ticket counter in the Shore Mall. You remember that?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. My mom worked at Boscov's, and so I would be able to get tickets. She would let me know, and sometimes she would be able to get tickets for me, you know? Yeah, that was very cool. And Acrat, back when Acrat had tickets and stuff.
Oh, see, I didn't.
Yeah.
I lived right by the Shore Mall, so it was so easy for me to walk over there and
Yeah.
I'd get whatever it was I needed, but gone are those days.
I heard, so I don't want to get on a tangent, but so the fish, so I am into fish, right? Which is a later in life thing, right? And so tickets have gone up, and me and my other friend were looking at again, we're guys of a certain age. We're looking at Rolling Stones tickets when they came to Philly, and Springsteen, and so it used to be that tickets would go up on secondary, right? They would go way up. And then kind of as you got closer to the event, they would kind of start creeping down because people are they want to get rid of them. Now, so this was just what I've heard. Because Fish specifically doesn't do physical tickets anymore, that has made the secondary market entirely online, which apparently has made the tickets stay up. They never come down now. Even I had looked before, and we saw Fish at the Mann Center last year, and there were a couple of tickets here and there that popped up right before the show, but for the most part they were all super high. And you can still go to the box office and get tickets that day. You can go and get whatever leftover tickets. I don't know how that whole thing works, but there was a whole line of people. I was in line for merch, and they were like, hey, who got a Miracle ticket last night? Who's looking for a Miracle? Okay, we're all going to wait in line over here. And they gave out tickets or whatever. Wow. But yeah, I don't know what that's all about. If that's a true thing, I'm just spreading this information on the podcast, which is great. But that's what I've heard, is that because we don't have physical tickets anymore, it's totally screwed up the whole secondary for people who actually want to go to the show and not people who are like trying to make money off of the tickets.
Yeah, I believe that.
Which is just crazy.
I don't know a whole lot. I don't even have a whole lot of experience to comment on that, but I can see how that makes sense because it's all digital and like some kind of there's like an algorithm that's pricing them, and in the end it doesn't matter because it's some bigger company that's selling lots of tickets to lots of shows.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Oof.
So anyway, tangent over. Green Day, My Chemical Romance. Yeah. Anything stick out from that show or like from the whole experience? I remember I've gone to a couple shows. Now it's Hard Rock Live, but then I don't know what it was called then. It was just called like the Event Center at Taj Mahal or something like that.
Yeah, I don't
now it's
remember.
the Etnis Arena.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What stands out is I think that night it was the first time I went to Tony's Baltimore Grill.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because our friend Ashley and Elida's mom grew up in like Margate. She's like either cousins with Butch Bradley or something.
Okay,
like
cool.
they have some kind of connection to him also. And that was a haunt of hers. So she took us there that night and we had like pizza and spaghetti or something. And then I hadn't gone back till like years later, but that was definitely the first night I was in there.
That's a memorable night, right?
Yeah.
You're going from Baltimore Grill to Hard Rock, like to Taj Mahal for a concert. Pretty epic.
Yeah, it was epic.
Awesome. So last question, what is your favorite score or soundtrack from a movie? And musicals do not count.
Let's see. I am thinking the ones that are standing out to me now, and I'm sure there's others, but for some reason, like Wes Anderson is coming to mind.
Yeah.
Like he's got some great ones, especially like the Darjeeling Limited.
That's a great movie.
I love that movie, and then like that was the music that just popped into my head when you said that. Because I don't think there's anything else I like search and listen for. I'll listen to a lot of Minecraft music, but but yeah, that I always loved that soundtrack of the Darjeeling Limited. So I'm gonna feel like that's probably. There's definitely other answers. That's a great question too.
What's amazing is that I don't think I've ever had the same answer twice. I don't think, which is pretty crazy.
Because it's an interesting combination of like it's not your favorite movie and it's not your favorite music, but it's like the combination of where they meet. Yep. So there's so many different movies with so many different scores. Oh wow, I'm gonna be thinking about that because I'm like, there's gonna be things that come to mind that are different. But I'm solidly Darjeeling Limited. It always is a feel good. Yeah, I just love that Indian, like whatever that is, the sitar. And
the
flute.
sitar. Yeah,
that's so good in that soundtrack. Oh, cool. What's your favorite?
That's a really good question. No one's ever asked me that before. Gosh, there's so many. I think the one that sticks out in my head is probably Almost Famous. That was like a good one, right? Like Simon and Garfunkel, that whole thing. There was a little while that I loved Detroit Rock City, that movie. Office Space soundtrack. I listened to a lot of Office Space soundtrack. Ghetto Boys, Ice Cube. That was just like totally opposite of those. And then I think it's called She's the One. Tom Petty did a soundtrack for a movie. I think it's called She's the One. And I remember getting that as a kid because I was a huge Tom Petty fan. And like had no interest. I don't think I've ever seen the movie.
Oh wow!
But I don't think I've ever seen the movie. But like,
listen
to the soundtrack because he did the entire album.
Oh,
and
wow.
So no one answer, which is probably typical for a podcast guest.
Yeah, right. Dang, yeah. A couple of the movies I know I haven't seen Almost Famous. Detroit Rock City sounds cool.
That was a fun one. Yeah, it's Kiss. These kids, the high school kids who are like trying to go to a Kiss concert and they like play in a band and like it's very 80s. Or I guess late 70s, super cool.
Wow.
Yeah, probably like not as cool as I remember it, but like I remember really liking that movie when I saw it.
Oh, wow. Oh dang, cool.
Awesome. Well, Tina Notoro, Noetrope, the Nightmare of Atlantic City, the Queen of Night Market, the Beach Rave, hostess. Thank you so much for your time.
Sean, this was so much fun. I'm so happy that we got to spend this time together. Thank you so much for doing this podcast.
I don't think anyone wants to hear about it. Football/soccer.
Oh man, I'm stoked. I'm in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven in El Cajon, California. Man, these are great questions.
I think the answers are probably better.